Hello, I am glad to be here to present to you a game today that I played in the Vienna game. So this game was played between me, Chess Optics, rated 1977, and an opponent named Grotz, Grotz. I don't know if it's Grotz or Grotz. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it correctly. Who's rated 2117. This is a short game. I'm just presenting it to my fellow and official other Vienna game players who I thought you may like to see it, and take it back to your lab and look at it and see if there's something in the game that you can use to help you with your own Vienna game. So, for those of you who know me from Twitch, you know I am a Vienna game proponent. I just like the game. So, this game starts with e4. Black plays e5. I play knight to c3, and we have knight to f6. This is not the best response to the Vienna game. After f4, knight to c6. I mean, this is not the best response because he loses a tempo, and oftentimes I run into this line, so I wasn't too worried. So we have f takes e, knight takes e, and then we have d4. And again, we see the tempo that black loses by pushing his knight when white pushes the knight to g6. Effectively, he also pushes the other knight from f6 back in excuse me, to g8. And we see that now white has moved this piece twice. This piece came out, moved once, got threatened, and it went 1, 2, and 3. So we have so much loss of tempo here that black is just at like a dynamic disadvantage, not material wise. So the next move, knight to c3, bishop to b4, bishop to c4, putting pressure on the f7 pawn here. For those of you who are familiar with this type of position, f7 along with this file here makes this a prime target for attack from the white pieces. Black plays c6, castle, bishop takes knight, pawn takes, and we have h6. Bring my bishop out to a3, knight goes to e7, and I put the bishop here on d6 to try and stop the d7 pawn from advancing forward, because this bishop that's on c8 is pretty restricted unless it goes to g7. Of course, this diagonal only gets it exchanged, and there's a pawn here, so I didn't want to let him push this and bring the bishop like somewhere over here to g4. The next move from black is castling. We have the queen, which I brought to e1, hopefully trying to use it on some g file or maybe even on the king side. So the queen slides over, keeping the knight where it is, so that maybe the knight can also assist the queen in maneuvering against the black king side. The rook goes to d8, and there we have the queen coming to g3. Notice now, with the queen coming to g3, it creates a threat to capture the knight. This is very common in the Vienna game. This is a threat to capture the knight on g6, which can no longer be captured back by the f7 pawn due to the pin from the bishop on c4. So this is a threat to lose the piece after this bishop captures the knight if the rook captures and the knight remains here, which I see did not happen that way, but something similar, because this knight needed to keep protection on g6 and it was captured. This is captured, and effectively white goes a piece up, and we have b5. The bishop pulls back to b3, and we have a4. So look, for those of you who are watching this and may be panicking like, oh my goodness, if I don't push my a2 pawn right, my bishop is going to be trapped. Look, the bishop has nowhere to go. Remember, I told you in the beginning, f7 along with this rook in the open file gives white a direct aim at the king side. And look at this bishop. It can't help. So effectively, white has 1, 2, 3, and 4, and a potential fifth piece to attack on the king side. I'm not worried about him pushing a4. If he pushes a4, which he does eventually after I play rook to e1, he pushes. And what do? Voila! Bishop takes f7 check. Check your engines. I believe this is an advantage. King takes, and we have check discovery from the rook here, and actually a double check because the knight is also checking too. King goes back to g8. Queen comes here, threatening mate. Knight has to be captured. Rook goes to f7, and this is where my opponent resigned because this target, the queen, and I mean, like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna put your queen on f6 and just say, you know what, I'll try something? I mean, like, you're gonna get mated. So that game ended very quickly and very abruptly in, I believe, 22 moves. So for those of you who like the Vienna game and found that interesting, this is Chess Optics, and I hope you enjoyed that and you can find something in it to look at inside of your own analysis. Thank you for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and please put comments inside of the channel, and I will try and address those comments in relationship to future content creation. I'm back on my grizzly, y'all. Peace.